Us. And welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. I am Lisa Harwell. This is Journeys with Jones Harwell. Steph and I decided we needed to come on air because we've been talking, and I'll forget to hit the button for us to start and press go. So before I get back into our conversation, let me introduce you to the beautiful lady that is sharing the screen with me this evening. I am so excited, so excited, so excited to have her on, the one and only Steph Wood. She's going to
No.
talk to us about what's in your juice. She's a motivational speaker. She loves kids. She has a reading platform. She teaches, and we're just going to get right back into the conversation. So, welcome to the show, Steph.
What's good, Lisa?
What's
Listen, I
good?
I knew I knew when I got on the in the thing this box with you that it was gonna be special. And like as soon as we got on,
We're just been
it just like that's what it was. Listen. Look, I have to address this. Listen, women, please give me a pass. My team right now is having a heart attack right now. They're like, what are you doing? What is wrong with your face? Listen, I've been in full makeup for like 5 days and I just got back from Nashville. So I wanted to make sure to shout out Nashville and Epic Global Leadership because I was just there with him, Kelvin Elston, doing a leadership training. So y'all gonna have to bear with this. Okay. Just
I'm cool. Look at that. I'm right there with you. All I got on is some lip gloss.
oh
This
goodness.
is me all day, every day. Unless I'm putting on some dress clothes. This is
yes.
not. So this has been wonderful. Tell us a little bit about the conference that you just finished. I know that you've got a conference coming up.
Mhm.
For those that are not, I'm hearing a crackling. So
I know. I don't know what to do about that.
let's see. Is it me on my side? Am I too close?
I just muted mine.
And we were doing great with no
How
interference.
about mute yourself and let's see if it's you?
Okay, let's see.
I don't hear it. Let me mute myself. Or are we good?
I think we're going to be good.
Oh, we
And I
tricked
think
it.
I'm going to,
We tricked it.
okay.
We just beat that devil. He tried.
Yes, indeed,
He
because he's
tried.
trying. He's
He tried.
trying. He's not going to win today.
He didn't succeed. No, sir. Keep it
All
moving.
right. So I know you said you just got through doing leadership training. I know
Yes.
you've got your conference coming up, your coaches conference coming up.
I'm excited.
And for those that follow my feed, I do know there are some basketball players that are friends of mine. So I hope their parents are watching. Um, and then we're going to talk about just every platform that you want to touch base on. Uh, nope, I hear it again. So let me see. It may be me because it seems like it's on my end.
I don't know. I don't hear it.
Okay. Well, we'll keep going.
Okay.
And just such an inspiration. I met you, and I've not met you in person. I met you when you were on Dr. Larry White Sr.'s show.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
your energy that you brought to that interview, I was just like, oh my goodness, she is she is awesome. I just
Thank
have
you.
to have her on my show. So let's get started. Let's talk about you as a motivational speaker
Hmm.
and your leadership and your conference that you got coming up. And then I love the logo and the talk of what's in your juice. What is that exactly about?
All right. Well, thank you for having me again. I'm excited. And yes, I just got back from Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. This is the first time I've traveled for work since COVID. I'm sorry, second time. But it's like now it's getting realer and realer because I've secured a position as a training instructor for Epic Global Group in Tennessee. And Kelvin Elston is the guy, the founder and the owner of that leadership group. And he's been mentoring me and teaching me like everything he knows. And then he's also been like just empowering me as a young businesswoman to, go for um, my gifting, and I love to be in front of people. I love to teach. I love to train. So yeah, it was a really exceptional week. I was also able to give two motivational talks at Primrose Schools in Nashville, and that was unexpected but wonderful. And I'm excited. I'm just excited about that partnership because, what it's like to be under great leadership. And like I've been under great leadership a lot in my life. There's
Yes.
been some leadership that's been trouble, like for me,
Hmm.
because it was challenging, got me out of my comfort zone, right?
Right.
I think that that's kind of what leadership is supposed to do. So at the same time, I'm now in a place in my life where I have leadership, but it is a very two-way street. So I'm very excited about it. We just finished conducting the winning team building training, and that was super fun because I got to talk basketball the entire 2 days.
Yeah, and for those that don't know you, do you think that your career as an athlete, particularly because you played basketball, helped you in areas that allow you to do the motivational speaking and the training? Was that teamwork and that development instrumental in that?
Yeah, what a great question. Thank you. Yes, I mean, honestly, I was an athlete my entire life. I was the only girl on every court, every field until I wasn't, which it didn't take long for that to change. It wasn't like I was the lone wolf, all by myself out there. But in my neighborhood, you know, I was the only girl on the basketball court. And I remember, the boys taking my ball to go play, but then wouldn't let me play. So then of course I'm upset. My dad puts a floodlight out there on the court, and now I can play. And basketball was hard for me, softball, soccer, these things were easier for me.
Mhm.
But sports gave me a sense of teamwork, gave me a sense of fun. I'm not necessarily a competitive person. I want to win, obviously, but I'm not a competitive person. Like I don't want to like gouge eyes out, but I am a performer. So
Right.
I did come alive when the game was on. Like I did, but for me, it was about the camaraderie. It was about what I learned. It was about the strong coaches I've had and the teamwork that I had to learn to appreciate. Yeah, so definitely, definitely. Not to run on. I'm sorry. I
That's
you
okay.
need a you need a jingle a bell. You need to be like, hey,
No,
hey.
what I'm gonna rely on is people asking me questions, and I want to put this one in before I forget to shout it out. Thank you, Wesley Webb, for this question. He asked, "What type of books do you recommend for your book club?" Because that's another one of your pet projects, your loves, your passion.
Yeah. Yeah, I found out not too long ago that reading had helped me a great deal as an adult. I was not a strong reader. I was a system child, born into foster care, born into the system and foster care and adoption. And there was, as much as that was a good thing for us, we still experienced delays because there weren't two parents there, pushing, making sure that all the kids that come through the system have what they need. It's just not the same, so as I got older, I realized that reading was starting to make me better. Like I read the Bible cover to cover twice. Reading was changing me. And I said, I wish that I could figure out a way to help kids. And I started to research that reading helps trauma.
Mm.
Reading heals trauma. So like I always say, if it's in a book, it's in you. And so right now, I'm reading The Alchemist. I just finished reading Jay-Z's Made in America because I did not realize he was such a prodigy. I read Mere Christianity. And if you want to come onto the book club, there's a picture of the books that we're reading this year to hit 21 in 2021.
All right, all right. Okay, that is wonderful, and I'm going to definitely check that out. And that happens to be a passion of mine as well because I have bonus grandparents and bonus parents. My family is been blended since I was on and off since my teenage years, but mostly early 20s. But I found that my grandmother, that was the librarian, and she was in East Orange, New Jersey. She was the librarian in East Orange, New Jersey. Instead of sending us toys, she always sent us books. And when we would come to visit, we would always be in the library with her. And I think that was one of the things that drove me to, in my teen years, to start writing, and the vivid imagination that I have to be a fiction, to be a
Yeah.
fiction writer. But I always wanted to be a journalist because my mom says I was a really nosy kid.
You were curious, huh?
Very curious. Any car ride, I'm just studying, studying everything. And but the statistics say that if you don't get a kid by third grade, that they are have enough knowledge to how to comprehend in those reading skills, that you're going to lose them in the later years as they go on to middle school, they go on to high school, they'll go on to college. And it's amazing that people, you got to find kids where they are, and that's one of the things that I always say. And when I was doing some volunteer work, teaching kids, I would just find them where they were. So, I would tell me, give me your favorite word, or give me your favorite phrase, or give me a favorite song. And from that word or that song or that phrase, give me a story. Just throw some words, and just, I don't care about how you're writing it. I just want to make sure that you can tell a story, you can comprehend it, and you can read it. And that's how they enjoyed it. They enjoyed that difference of finding them in their space.
That's 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 great. And it's listen, speaking from me, like honestly, and I want to be transparent because I know there are kids out there hurting, and I know there are kids struggling. I know there are families, like people, women, all of us who just like, didn't want to do not necessarily the comfortable thing or the hard thing. Like, honestly, like reading for me, like that was the struggle for real. Honestly, like I was a good student. I didn't fail things. I think I failed geometry one time, but like I worked hard. I had a work ethic. So I covered up for a lot of things because I would have to do extra things, try to bargain. I taught my daughter, like, listen, if you have a C and you need a B, you need to be having conversations with your teacher. Parents, we need to be encouraging our kids to speak up for themselves. Hey,
Mhm.
listen, what can I do? That's not a confidence that I had until I got into high school. And then when I started to kind of get that moxie, I was like, okay, I can have good relationships and ask questions, get help. But the
Right.
majority, the majority of kids develop within those first 5 years. Everything, Lisa, everything is developing. Our emotions, our minds, are the way we cope with pain, what we think is appropriate, what we learn is appropriate, what we learn is not. Like those first 5 years. So I really just reach out to, before COVID, I was this close to getting to read with kids who are in foster care homes. And, I had some kids that I was mentoring, and it just kind of, it was a place where I just knew that I had to be, and I'm just an avid reader, and it's like a drug now. I mean, not really, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I do. I do. I get it. So tell us about your coaches conference that you have coming up.
I know it's in 2 days. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, Lisa, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, wait. First of all, I'm so thrilled to be working with Championship Productions and Tom McDonald out there. Lonnie, Daryl, Patrick, all those guys, they are amazing. Being back in basketball after all these years has been so like emotional. Just it's like we're getting the band back together,
Yes.
and because I took time, I did some other things. I raised Maddie. I was at every tournament, literally every turn. I was the team mom. I joined the board. I volunteered.
I've
You
been
know,
there,
I
done
come
that.
on, right? And I
Yes.
mean the Virginia Legends, don't even get me started on how amazing they are. But like that's what I did. So being back in basketball is it's like a it's like a it's like a dream, but like I as good as it was, I just don't remember it being this good. And like, so I'm excited. So we have the coaches conference. It's Monday through Friday next week, April 12th through the 16th. We have 25 or so coaches that are presenting. We have Kermit Davis from Ole Miss. We have Coach Jones from Norfolk State. We've got Noel Gillespie. He's an NBA guy. He works with the Atlanta Hawks G League. We have
Mm.
Gannon Baker, who was one of my first mentors. I mean, it just goes on and on. Like, I don't even want to start naming because I feel like a jerk when I leave people out. We also have Marissa Mosley, who is a coach in Wisconsin, and like we have a women's coaches. Like, it's just gonna be cool, you know. And it's the premier, excuse me, it's the premier teaching conference for basketball coaches. So it's gonna be dope.
And it is so cool too because it's coming right off of the NCAA tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Normally I catch. This year I didn't pay attention at all. And in the past I would normally my teams would be Gonzaga and Georgetown because I used to work at Georgetown. So
Good
I would
picks.
always pick
Good
Georgetown.
picks.
I don't care what happened. Georgetown. If they made it, they would be on my list. But
Right.
the great game, that final weekend, and then, to come, even they didn't win, but still those guys played some ball. They
Yeah.
played some ball this year. I mean, and it's pretty cool and it's pretty good because I think, for them to come out of, COVID and to have that energy and, and have that spirit to keep going. So, what are some of the things that you're going to be teaching? And I wish, and actually, I'm going to introduce you to someone. My brother, one of my brothers, because I said blended family, so I have seven brothers. And
Whoa.
one
Wow.
of my brothers went to Georgia Tech and played briefly on the team with John Sally.
Oh
So
wow.
he's still friends with John Sally. And
Cool.
yeah, so he's doing his thing in New York, corporate for many years, and then now he's a life coach himself as well, and makes shoes, amazing shoes. So I got to get him back on the show when I get my shoe, so
Isn't
I
it
can order
crazy? Look,
shoes.
not
Yes,
to
I
get
know.
off topic, but isn't it crazy how God gives us layered giftings?
Yeah,
Like don't come on now. He plays basketball and he makes shoes. Like really? Like and
yeah,
I'm sure there's like 20 or 30 other things that he can do, right? Like
yes,
I just wanted to
indeed.
pause for the cause right there because I have witnessed that over and over and over again. I've witnessed people who didn't even know that they had a talent. Like
Hmm.
didn't even know that they had a gifting. Just knew that they had a passion and they had this thing in them, right? Like they, oh, I just got to do it. I just got to go, but don't really know like what's really in here. And that's what's in your juice is about. But I've seen people like literally go from not knowing to launching full on businesses and then sub businesses and extra
Hmm.
brands. Like
Hmm.
it's crazy. Like God has made an amazing creature. We just have to tap in and we
Hmm.
have to do the work. Like we have to want to know what's in our juice. We have to want to know why we do the things we do, why we are the way we are, right? Like
Right.
gotta find that. What's in us? Like, what do we have? Because every single thing we have can make us money, can help us eat, can
Hmm.
help us live, can help us meet people, create relationships, grow. You know what I mean? And I just pause for the cause on that because God is amazing. Like, how does he make like how did he do that? Really? And people wonder if they're God. Come on.
Hey, come on with it.
I'm not a preacher, but I've been known. I've
Yes,
been known to
I get it. I get it. I get it. Get it. I get it. This has been, and everybody, I hope you can see what I feel because your energy is just incredible. It is just incredible. And I see how that people would tap in to your learning style, your coaching style, your leadership style, because you have something that draws people in.
Thank you for saying that. I don't even know, like, honestly, I just want to be myself. Like, I just want to be myself, right? Don't we
Right.
all? Right?
Exactly.
And just people rock with us because we're ourselves, right?
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
for so long I spent time looking back. I spent time wondering. I spent time searching, right? For
Hmm.
family, for purpose, for meaning, for why did my parents commit suicide, my birth
Hmm.
parents? Why did I lose my brother? Why didn't he get a chance to be adopted with us? Why didn't my marriage work out? Why was my daughter one of the only 1% of babies that are born with a certain lung infection? Why, right? Like, right? We could spend an entire life asking why and looking back at it, trying to figure it out.
Hmm.
And just in the last, honestly, COVID forced me to find what it is that I wanted to do after years of wanting to pour into others and being successful because of that. And right? Like, so
Right.
honestly, I'm just to the point where this is who I am. I'm like this all the time. Ask my friends, I wake up like this. Ask my daughter, I am like, hey, what's up? Like, it doesn't matter what time of night. Like, I am like, let's go. Like, and I think my coaches have pushed me to that. Guys like Gannon Baker, you
Hmm.
know, he pushed me into that. My college coach, she was a force. My friends who are successful coaches in their own right, like, right, they push you,
Right. They do. They do.
and they walk beside you. And I've had mentors like sharpen me, and I just feel like now it's all coming together in a perfect storm, and I'm grateful because I know I'm so much happier, right?
Mm,
I'm just so much
right.
happier, so much happier. Girl,
So
you
you
don't make me cry on here. Why are you doing this to me? What in the world? Listen, y'all, if you're watching, Lisa gonna make you cry. Like, seriously.
I,
Dang.
I'm just here as a vessel to allow people to tell their stories
Yeah.
unapologetic, and that is my thing, unapologetic. But if you had to give advice, and I'm going to ask you, it may be the same advice that you would give, but for
Mhm,
athletes, let's say kids coming out of high school, right? And my son is one.
mhm,
What advice would you give them as they make the transition from high school to college?
mhm,
You know, how to make that successful transition, because what they're doing in high school training is
mhm,
different if they're playing in college,
mhm.
and what they need to do to make sure that they have a balance. And if they find themselves drowning a little bit,
Right.
what are some things that they can do to make sure that they have the right support system underneath them?
Yeah. Well, big shout out, to your son for
Mhm.
going after his dreams, for sticking with that. It's hard. It's hard
Mhm.
to be an athlete. It is. It's hard to be anyone who is trying to be good at something. Okay. So
Yeah.
athletes, anybody, artists, like anybody who's trying to go and do it at the fullest level that they can do it at. Big shout out to my daughter and Towson softball. I'm excited. And I'll tell you what I've learned by watching her as a sophomore now is that I think the thing I would tell you, your son, anyone who's involved with him, is that nothing will ever be the same. You know, Nothing's going to be the same anymore.
Mm.
This change is such a shift that it's not even the sport or the level of the game. It's the mental and the intestinal fortitude that we need in order to go through such a transition. It's hard. You got to talk about it. You
Mhm.
got to say, hey, look, this is hard. I've never done this before. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Reach out for help because you're going to be away from family. You're going to be in a new situation. And I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how good you are, it's still hard for everyone. So it's like the first thing is nothing's ever going to be the same. B, I would say hold fast to the things that your parents taught you. And if you don't feel like you know, like fully get like if you got the best of that, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you're just got some questions about it, like don't be the guy way off away at school who's not reaching out for help, who's not like trying to get better in the gym, who's trying to get better in the classroom, who's trying
Mm-hmm.
to make sure they're getting the most out of the experience. And
Right.
it's tough, right? It's
Right.
tough.
Right.
So those are the two things I would say.
Right. Because I'm seeing some of the unfortunate stories that have come out the last couple of days. The young guy that ran his car, up to the Capitol and got killed, was an athlete. The NFL player, former NFL player, that don't know the situation there, but it just seems like that there's a lot of underlining mental health issues. I'm thinking, and I could be wrong, but it's just my opinion that is not being addressed. And they don't know how to make that transition. And I think that's something that we as parents probably need to push more in the schools, because it's hard for those kids now to make that transition. You've spent 5, 10, 15 years of your life before you get to high school. If some of them have started at the age of 5, playing sports, playing sports, playing sports, playing, that's, and now, you got to juggle, and if they don't have parents that don't give them something else to juggle besides that one thing, that they're not rounded. I think sometimes it doesn't help them make that transition. So I know with my son, he is a musician as well. So he had to make a choice because his high school teacher, band teacher, kept trying to push him, for music. And he was like, "Well, when it comes to baseball season, you can forget it. I'm going to be on
I'm
the
going
field."
baseball
You
practice,
know,
okay?
and but he didn't find a way and he wouldn't find a way with us to keep him connected to that, because not only would he been a great he would have he been a great guitar player, he would have been an oboe player too. And in the state of Maryland at that time, he was the only black male oboe player
Wow.
in the state, in the entire state. And we were telling him instant college, money, college money. But he was like, but it interferes with baseball.
And now
So,
the tough part is, Lisa, that we're in a time where kids specialize.
yes,
Excuse me. Kids specialize now. Like kids don't just do like we did, play on the court, just do whatever, like play every sport, get involved in every single thing, right? Like, and
right.
then also this is just a different kid now. Like honestly,
Mhm.
like these kids now that are dealing with this pandemic, this is trauma to everyone. It's
Yes,
traumatic. Like
yes.
if you look up trauma, this is in there. Like we're people are hurting.
Hmm.
Like people have lost people. The isolation,
Yeah,
the health problems. Like these kids are going through it. Like
yeah.
athletes are getting tested 2 and 3 and 4 times a week.
Hmm.
Like I understand, obviously, but it's like, it's tough. So yeah, we're not the same anymore. So yeah, kids are struggling. I'm not surprised that, mental health and again, emotional health, the emotional wounds that our kids go through, that we all go through, that we all experience.
Right.
Everyone is fighting a battle, a private battle that a lot of people can't tell anyone.
Hmm. Because there's such a stigma. We put
Oh
such a stigma to
yes.
it, you know?
And that's why
People
faith.
look at you side eyes. Oh,
That's why
what?
staying busy in a word, staying in his
Mhm.
word, praying, meditating, taking time for yourself, finding what's important to you, telling people you love them, these things that that we take for granted have become very, very elusive to us all of the
Yeah.
sudden.
Yes. Yes. And
Like, this
even
is the
though our
time we knuckle down, you know?
right. Even though, our kids are the most social savvy, coming to media because this is the environment that they grew up in. This is all that they know. But still, it was hard for them, because
Yeah.
everybody still needs that one-on-one, interaction.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
no matter how big or small your circle is, you
Mhm.
still need that one-on-one connection.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, indeed. So what else you got planned after your conference?
Well, I'm gonna take like a minute to breathe because let me tell you something. Nothing like this is ever done without a lot of hard work, without a lot of preparation. Each night. So I have a writer that wrote the introductions, and I'm so blessed with the team that is around, like Tavana Mercado, who does the road stuff for me and like works with as photography. She's amazing, and then um Lindsay is out in Oklahoma, like, and she does the writing, and like, I can't even tell you, like, Tom and them, like, it's gonna be amazing. So I'm ready for it to be dope. Each night I'll be able to like introduce the guest and the presenter, and like, so after that, I'm gonna take a second. I'm gonna take a minute, and then I have an idea to produce something else, but I don't want to share it just yet.
Well, I hope when you get ready to plug it out, please contact me back because I will definitely promote it.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much.
So, if people want to get a hold of you,
Mhm.
oh, I started writing the notes. You said The Alchemist and Jay Z's
Made in America. I just
Made
finished Jay Z's
America.
Made in America, and honestly, I'll tell you with that one, it inspired the inner hustler in me to go harder because his story. I mean, he's a prodigy. Like seriously, people don't respect his
Mhm.
gifting, So that was amazing. And then now The Alchemist, I'm already in my feelings about it. Like I just read the foreword, and I'm like, So like I can't even. I don't know, but that book is about a guy who his entire life searches for his treasure,
Mm.
but doesn't realize until later on at the end that he had the treasure with him the entire time.
Wow.
So like I didn't even know that was what the book was about, honestly, but now I'm like in my feelings. Like I'm all in my feelings about it. So check
I'm
those
gonna have
out.
to check that one out as well. As
Yes, ma'am.
well, I know I have a bunch of stuff that I have not read yet because normally I spend my Sundays researching and reading
Yeah.
because I have a vivid imagination. I write fiction, I write mystery and suspense. That's my thing. So, but I'm always reading and watching something. So
Yeah.
that'll be good to incorporate some of that also within my reading material.
And everybody likes to read what they like to read. I'm trying to
Exactly,
grow a little
exactly.
bit in a weird way. I want to like because I don't like novels or stories or anything like that. So I've always been straight biography, self-help, business books, all that stuff. But I'm trying to expand, and that's really what the Read with Steph Wood book club is about. You can find us on Facebook. You can also find us at what'sinyourjuice.com. And we have a new motivational video at What's in Your Juice on YouTube. I'm also viral on TikTok where I just do reactions and give people their props. And that's been super fun. I actually started that on New Year's Eve because I just was like so depressed with COVID. Like, honestly, like, I'll be honest, like, it hit me. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, I was going nuts because I was so isolated and just losing business and future and like, oh my gosh. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna react to something and try to be positive, and that's been fun. So check me out. What's good Steph Wood on Instagram and Steph Wood on Facebook.
And I'm writing it in the comments here so people can get it.
Thank you, Lisa.
And our conversation has been wonderful this evening.
Good.
I
Thank
have,
you.
I bow down. I do. I bow
Stop,
because
Lisa.
like,
Lisa.
it was like
No,
that first
stop.
interview, you gave me so much inspiration. And the conversation that we had before I went live and live now, I'm just telling you, my heart is just so filled. And it's just, I just hope everybody else is feeling the same thing. That's all I can say.
I just, I just want to be myself, and I want people to be happy. I love people. I love
It shows.
God. Let's
It
go. Like,
shows.
let's just, let's go. Like, let's go. We got stuff to do, y'all. Like, let's go. Seriously.
So time, give a plug for your conference that's next week, starting Monday. It is Monday through Friday.
Yes, Monday through Friday. It's the SWH Coaches Conference. You can peep it out at swhconference.championshipproductions.com. It is produced by the #1 provider of skill development videos for athletes, coaches, junior, just any coach at any level. This conference is for any coach at any level. The great thing about it, Lisa, is if you register by the 11th, you get access through May 16th. So
Oh,
even if you can't watch it, like even if you can't watch it live, like even if you can't get down with it, you can still watch the recording. And we're going to have some special things after. So join the Facebook group to get a $5 off coupon as well.
okay. So give me the website again. SWA.
SWH as in
H.
house
Okay.
conference
Mm-hmm.
dot championshipproductions.com.
Productions.com. Got it. And I'm going to tell them join the Facebook page.
Please do. And let's talk a little basketball. It'll be fun.
All righty. I got it there. And that should, and let me fix the other one because I said SWA, but it's SWH.
Take your time.
Yeah, that correction. All righty. The amazing Steph Wood. Thank you so much for being on the show. I will be having you back on as you continue to do things. And if people wanted to look at your conferences and your teachings, where would they find you? And they would just do that from the whatisyourjuice.com?
So actually, you can find out about our leadership training at epicgloballeadership.com. And you can also go to kelvinelston.com and you'll see me listed as a trainer. We also have Spanish speaking trainers, which is really cool. Kelvin's wife is Hispanic. So it's really, really cool that, we get to have bilingual education.
Oh,
Like
yes.
that to me is amazing. And it's just, it's really cool. So just check that out at epicgloballeadership.com.
Okay, epicleadership.com. All
Yeah.
right. All righty. And I got that. And I think I got everything.
Everything.
Everything for this conversation. I got everything. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on and drop these nuggets and drop this just sunshine and positivity to me and to my listening audience. I really, really appreciate it. God bless you in everything that you continue to do. And we will definitely be talking some more.
Thank,
Definitely,
thank
definitely,
you, Lisa.
definitely.
I love your show. I love your show, and I feel like I gained a sister today, and
Yes.
I'm really kind of excited about that. So thank you again for having me. I honestly had a wonderful time. I felt very comfortable. It was a wonderful interview. So thank you very much. You're gifted.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. This concludes our show for this evening, everybody. Please, please go check out Steph Wood on Facebook. You can find her at Steph Wood. You can find her at what'sinthejuice.com. You can find her on YouTube, and your YouTube is the same thing, What's in the Juice?
What's in your juice? Yes, ma'am.
What's in your juice? And she is a leadership trainer. You can go to epicgloballeadership.com for leadership training. Check out the coaches conference Jan- January. Oh my goodness, I'm rolling back. I told everybody when I got the email, I got an email, I think it was on Thursday, a text from the school, and it said, graduation is June 1st. At first I got the first one was the last day for seniors is May 14th. And I was like, okay. Now I got the text that says, okay, graduation date is June 1st. And I'm like, I'm not ready. So I guess that's why, I'm trying to roll back the clock to January, right? I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you're ready. And I'm like, no, I'm playing. For real. I'm playing. I'm really not ready.
You're
I'm
not ready, Lisa. I'm
really
telling you,
not
you're really
ready.
not. You're just not
I
ready.
think I am. I think I've prepared him enough, his dad and I. But it's getting it's getting hard every time I'm looking at him now, knowing, that come fall, he may not be in the house. He may be somewhere else
I
at
know.
school. So, but April 12th, April 12th through the 16th. Am I
Yes,
counting?
ma'am. You got it.
Check out the SWH Coaches Conference. You guys can still sign up through tomorrow, so you will have access to the conferences material through the middle of May. And don't miss out, because I'm telling you, this lady here, she's the real deal.
Oh,
She is
stop
the real
it. Like
deal.
literally, like I can't with you. Like, look at my face. I look I've been in the sun all day, Lisa. Stop. Oh my goodness. Thank you for that. You're sweet.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank
Mwah.
you.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the rest of your Saturday evening.
I
Everybody
will.
else, enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening, the rest of your weekend. I am Jones Harwell, Lisa Harwell. A lot of people are like, Red Baby. They call me Red Baby because it's Red Baby Publishing. I'll take that too. But I'm signing off for today. My next show will be Friday evening. I'm going to be interviewing Sharon Jackson Bullock, the author of Embracing Your Sexy 60s. And this lady does not
Watch
look
out now.
in her 60s at all. At
Can she write one
all.
for in your 40s? Can she write one for in your
I
40s,
told her
Lisa?
she
I
might.
need
I told her I
I
had
need
like
a
two
little.
years. I told her I had 2 years to hit the 60s club. So I'm almost
Stop
there.
it.
No,
Stop.
I am. I'm 58. I'm 58 years old.
It's unfair how good you look right now.
Thank you. I thank my mama for those jeans.
I know that's right. That's
But that will be our next show. I've
right.
had a ball this evening. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Once again, thank you so much, Steph, for
You're
coming
welcome.
on, taking some time out of your busy schedule to come on and have a real talk about life, about everything.
It was my pleasure, Lisa, and it was not I didn't have to carve out anything. I was looking forward to it.
Great, great. Good night, everybody.
Good night.